Hi team, me again. In this tip I want to talk to you about cornering. So cornering is where a lot of cyclists, especially novice cyclists, are nervous and lacking confidence, and unfortunately this can lead to accidents. So knowing the correct way to corner can improve your safety and your speed significantly. The speed through the corner is dictated by conditions such as wet roads, gravel or debris on the roads, traffic, etc. So the first thing you need to do when you're going into a corner is to look ahead and try and gauge what those conditions are like. See if you can spot any oncoming traffic. See if you can get any clues as to the road surface conditions. You know, sometimes you see a trail of mud left by a tractor on the road or something. So as you're going into the corner, what you want to try and do is you want to try and reduce your speed by braking as you're going in a straight line. If you're going to try and reduce your speed when you're in the corner, putting the brakes on can cause your wheels to lock up, and ultimately you could end up skidding or falling onto the road. You can use a little bit of braking with caution as you're going through the corner just to control speed, but you really need to try and get your speed down as you're going in a straight line before you actually get to the corner. Second thing you need to do is you need to position your bike. So you need to open the corner up as much as you possibly can. That means if you're going around a right-hand corner, you want to position yourself to the left hand of your lane. If you're going around a left-hand corner, you want to be positioned to the right hand of your lane. You want to try and keep your centre of gravity as low as you can. So that could mean riding on the drops, but also you need to get your weight distribution right. So if you go around a right-hand bend, for example, you want to be pushing down on the left-hand pedal. That has two purposes. It puts the centre of gravity lower on the bike, on the outside of the curve, and it also raises the pedal on the inside of the curve so that your pedal doesn't catch on the ground as you're going around the curve. You want to try and keep your eye line level. Try not to, as the bike banks over, try not to lean over and tilt your head over. Try and keep your eye line level. And you need to focus on a spot where you want you and the bike to be at the exit to the curve. So you want to be looking through the corner to your exit point. Try not to look at the hedge coming rapidly towards you, or the wall or whatever, because ultimately whatever you're looking at, that's possibly where you're going to end up. So look around the corner to where you want to be on the road. And the more speed you can carry into the corner, the faster you're going to come out of the corner. Ultimately the idea is to try and use the corner as a slingshot, so you can actually gain some speed. So I've got a couple of videos that I've taken on the local roads just to demonstrate these points. This is the first example. It's the right-hand bend between Jameson and Hodgson on the road from Tenby to Pembroke. I've slowed the video down so I can talk you through it. This is a downhill section into the bend, so it's quite fast. You can't see anything around the corner because of the high hedge banks. Approaching the bend, I'm gradually easing off the power and I'm moving onto the left-hand side of my lane. If you're going to use the brakes, this would be the start of the braking zone. Brake while you're going in a straight line. The video here, you can see I've already started moving towards the centre line. Cross is the point that I'm looking at. At this point, I'm pushing down hard on the left-hand pedal. If I stop the video again, this is the apex of the corner. And again, my eyes are focused on a point just around the corner, my exit point. And I'm back on the power and gaining speed before the bend is completed. To the bend at nearly 30 miles an hour means that I can hold that speed for quite a long time on that flat section of road. Here's the next example. It's the left-right combination at Bubbleton Bridge as you're heading towards Tenby from Pembroke. Into the braking zone. If I stop it here, you can see that I've moved to the right-hand side of my lane. This opens up the bend and gives me a good view of any traffic that might be coming under the bridge. As I run it on, you'll notice that there's this little straight section where you can actually do a little bit more braking if you need to. Otherwise you're away, quickly up to speed. This clip is the left-hand bend at Lidstep, and I know quite a few people who have come a cropper on this bend, but it's not actually a nasty bend. It's a sharp bend, but you've got the camber with you. There's not very often gravel or anything on the road, so you should be able to take it at a fairly good speed. The video down so that I can talk you through it. So now we're in the braking zone, moving to the right hand side of the road, coming in, cutting the apex nice and tight to the hedge, and already up to speed and away. The next few clips are from Mallorca. The two riders in front of me, the guy in the pink is not a bad descender, the guy in front of him in white is not a particularly good descender. The video here just to point out that on the right hand side of the screen, that's the road ahead. Keeping your head up and being aware of what's around you means that you can look at that road, you can see that there's no traffic coming, but you can also see that it's nearly a 180-degree bend coming up. You can see the guy in pink also turning his head. He actually checked that road, he could see it coming. So he moves out to the left hand side of his lane to take the bend. The guy in white is on the inside. Didn't realise that it was such a sharp bend. He's panic braking. That causes the guy in pink to come up close behind him. He panic brakes. On a wet or gravelly road, there could have been a different outcome there. When it's on, you can see that both of those riders have been affected by that last bend. They both are on the wrong line for that left-hand bend coming up. And you see how quickly I close on them. I've got the right line. They're having to brake very slightly just to slow their speed as they're going around the corner. I'm catching them, I'm off the brakes, and I'm on their wheel. So this next clip, Mr. Pink is now in front of Mr. White. Another big sweeping right-hander. Mr. White is following Mr. Pink's line. As we go into the corner, it's clear that Mr. White thinks he's going too fast. If I stop it there, you can see that Mr. White is now trying to slow his bike down. The action of braking makes the bike want to go back to the vertical position. So he's got a bit of a fight on his hands. You can see he's losing distance to Mr. Pink, and I'm also catching him at a rate of knots. To come out of the bend, my speed has already gone up from 31 to 36 miles an hour, and I'm drawing level with him. So I've had enough of being behind him as well, so I try and get in front of him. Unless you're on the wheel of a good descender, you're probably better off choosing your own line and giving the riders around you a lot more space. So this is the last clip. It's a tricky left-hander because it closes up in the last third of the corner. He doesn't realise it, so he's having to use his brakes just to control his speed. And you can see that I'm closing on him. And if I stop it there, again, I've marked the exit point. That's the point that I'm focused on. That's the point I want to be on the road. So the roads at the moment, nice and dry, fairly quiet. It's a good time to get out and practice. Don't have to travel too far from your house and just keep running the same bends, keep practicing. So with a bit of practice, you should be able to go around the bends a little bit quicker and a bit more safer. So until next time, bye.